I am infinitely more than my mistakes. You are infinitely more than your mistakes. Interesting thing, when we go and see a movie, that which preceded the actual watching of the movie was the making of the movie. And when an actor doesn't get it quite right in a particular take, the director doesn't beat the actor up for not getting it right all at once, but they do another take. A mistake is like a mistake in life, and we always have the power to do another take. And that's really important to understand, and also to make sure that we're not defining ourselves based upon the mistakes that we have made. You know, I look at my own life, and I look at leaving my mama's house at age 16 and living on the streets for a few years before I learned how to take care of myself, and growing up in the treacherous ghettos of Chicago and becoming a part of that treachery for a while. I call it my 6 years of insanity, from age 16 to 22, when the spiritual light came on. You know, but when I was a part of that treachery, this was the mistake of my life, or the mistake of my life. You know, the Creator didn't beat me up for making a mistake. Creator never beats anyone up for making a mistake in life. And the Creator never defines us according to mistakes that we make. Our mistakes does not define who we are. We are infinitely more than our mistakes. You know, when I look at living on the streets, and I look at growing up in the treacherous ghettos of Chicago, and then who I've come to be at this stage of my life, you see, I am a richer, more expanded being, not just in spite of the mistakes of that stage of my life, but mostly because of the mistakes at that stage of my life. I am infinitely more than my mistakes. And so we can always do another take. It's so important to understand that. And when we look at who we are, make sure that we're not judging ourselves and defining ourselves by some mistake that we made in life. Sometimes we do that. We fall, we stumble, we make a mistake, and then that mistake becomes the means by which we define the whole of who we are. And we get caught in a loop, because we're seeing ourselves to be that moment of stumbling, that moment of mistake. When there's a process of evolving, there's a process of growing, there's a process of expanding. And sometimes we do that to other people. You know, we see them make a mistake. And the only way that we can see them is based upon that mistake that they made. We don't see their evolvement. We don't see their expansion. And so when we allow our attention to become focused and locked in on a so-called mistake that someone has made, we become an accessory to that mistake, because we're adding affirmation to it, we're adding energy to it, we're breathing even more life into it, because we're not allowing ourselves to see beyond that for that person. Let's remember to always hold vision of the higher possibilities for ourselves as well as for every other, because in truth we are infinitely more than our mistakes. And even when we have grown in a certain way and other people are holding that vision, let us transcend the tendency to buy into their vision of us and let that become our own personalized definition of us. You know, when we're empathic, we have to be very careful with regards to that, because sometimes we'll take on someone else's opinion of us as how we feel about us, when that's furthest from the truth. So let's continue to grow and expand in this human experience. Let us deeply and passionately love on ourselves, and that means loving on everyone else too, because everybody else is our own self by extension. Let us believe in the possibility of redemption, for every being, for our own self first and foremost, and then our extended self relative to all others. I am infinitely more than my mistakes. You are infinitely more than your mistakes. Namaste. One last little note. I'm thinking about a wonderful teacher by the name of Byron Katie. And she tells a story about when she first got on her spiritual path, and everyone would say namaste. And namaste means I honor the place in you where the whole universe lives, and where when you're in that place in you and I'm in that place in me, there's only one of us. Namaste. Well, she was hearing it as no mistake. And so as everybody was saying namaste, namaste, you know, she was saying no mistake until she found out that that was actually namaste. So it's interesting to think about that relative to this subject. I and you are infinitely more than mistakes. Namaste.